On the sacred occasion of Devipaksha, in this episode of Remembering the Forgotten Divine Souls, born from the womb of Mother India, we recall the life of Charusila Goswami, a name buried under the dust of politics and time. Though not related by blood, she was the one Khudiram fondly called Didi, elder sister. Perhaps you have never even heard the name Charusila Goswami? And how would you? The historians of our country, instead of recording the stories of these noble women who stood behind the freedom struggle, were more eager to glorify those whose patronage could secure their own future. Anyway, let us return to the main story. In the year 1883, Charusila was born in Midnapore. Her father was Rakul Chandra Adhikari. Following the customs of society at that time, she was married off at the tender age of 12 and soon entered her husband's household. But fate was cruel. After only 5 years, she was widowed and returned to her parental home. In Hababa, right next to Charusila's paternal home, stood the house of Khudiram's elder sister. Orphaned at a young age, Khudiram would often find a mother's affection not only in his sister but also in Charusila. The child widow, with no children of her own, embraced Khudiram with motherly love and care. In the year 1905, Khudiram took initiation with the fire mantra and stepped onto the path of revolutionary life. Not long after, one day near the fort, he was caught by the police while distributing Swadeshi pamphlets. As he resisted and tried to keep hold of the papers, a scuffle broke out, and soon he was lodged in jail. Eventually, Raja Narendra Lal Khan, a silent supporter of the revolutionaries, spent money to secure his release. Witnessing with her own eyes this inhuman cruelty of the British enraged Charusila. Flames of anger blazed within her heart. At that very moment, she silently vowed that from now on, she too would stand beside the revolutionaries, supporting their struggle with all her strength. Holding tightly the hand of her foster brother one day, Charusila Devi had said, "Will you take me into your fold too?" In April 1908, Khudiram came to stay at his elder sister's house. He remained there until the time of the Muzaffarpur expedition, taking his farewell from this very home. Yet, Charusila Devi had not even the slightest inkling of the great mission her beloved foster brother was about to embark upon. Then came the heart-wrenching news. Upon hearing of Khudiram's execution, Charusila Devi was devastated. Yet, amid her grief, a new Charusila seemed to be born, one who, from that day onward, became a revolutionary in thought, mind, and spirit. But those were different times. There was still no place for women in armed revolutionary groups. So she could not take up arms herself. Yet, within her blazed the fierce fire of hatred toward the British. She transformed that fire into strength. She awakened the villagers, telling them the brutal stories of British oppression and exploitation. One by one, she kindled the flames of resistance in every heart. Although she did not come into direct contact with the revolutionary groups at first, Charusila Devi eventually became indirectly connected with them. After overcoming one challenge after another in her life, finally, in 1921, she established a women's association in Midnapore, which spread a new light of awakening among women. The following year, in 1922, she went to Calcutta. After studying at the training school there, she returned to her village. But now, she was no longer just a homemaker, she directly involved herself in political and social constructive work. In 1930, during the turbulent times of the Salt Law disobedience movement, Charusila Devi did not stay behind. She took an active role, organizing meetings and committees in villages, calling people to join the movement. During one such meeting, while she was delivering a speech, the police suddenly charged the crowd with batons. When a 12-year-old boy fell blooded amidst the crowd, Charusila Devi could no longer tolerate it. She immediately seized a police baton and struck it a few times at the officer. Seeing her courage, the fellow activist stepped forward and resisted the brutality of the police. The name of this rebellious woman now reached the ears of the British administration. District Magistrate Petty issued an arrest warrant in her name. Charusila Devi went into hiding in Khudiram. But even in hiding, she did not stop. She called a meeting of the workers' union and collected funds for the satyagrahis. Eventually, while organizing a procession in Midnapore, she was arrested and sentenced to 6 months in prison. This marked the beginning of Charusila Devi's life behind bars. The conditions inside the jail were dreadful, whether for political prisoners or ordinary inmates. There was no environment for even minimal healthy living. She could not tolerate this injustice. Courageously, she brought the issues to the attention of the jail authorities. Yet, she received no response from the British rulers. At that time, widowed women in prison were not allowed to cook for themselves. Charusila Devi made a firm resolution that she would secure this right, no matter what. She began a hunger strike. Days passed, her body weakened, yet she did not yield. Finally, the British government was compelled to accept her demand. She set a rare precedent in history. But this was not the end. Even after her release, her struggle did not stop. In 1932, she once again joined the law disobedience movement and was arrested. This time, she was sentenced to 1.5 years in prison. Later, in 1939, suspicion also fell on her in connection with the murder of District Magistrate Burge. Although there was no direct evidence, the British government imposed restrictions on her as a form of punishment. She was not allowed to reside in Midnapore district for the next 8 years. This strategy by the authorities, aimed at silencing a female freedom fighter, revealed just how significant a threat Charusila Devi had become in their eyes. Eventually, she took shelter in an ashram in Puri. But in her absence, miscreants looted her house, taking away all her belongings. After the expulsion order was revoked, she moved to Calcutta in 1938. She lived in difficult circumstances. It was then that she unexpectedly encountered Shailen Ghosh, whom she knew from before. At that time, he was an education officer in the corporation. With his assistance, Charusila Devi secured a job at a primary school. There, she spent the rest of her life teaching, continuing her work as a teacher well into old age. Independence came, but Charusila Devi remained as steadfast and unwavering as ever. She never demanded anything for herself, nor did she bow her head to please anyone. One day, away from the public eye, this fiery daughter of Midnapore quietly passed away. It makes one wonder, without the loving guidance of this sister, could Khudiram have truly become the warrior of the revolutionary era? From now on, when commemorating Khudiram's martyrdom day, let us not only remember him, but also pay our heartfelt tribute to this extraordinary and courageous woman behind the scenes, Charusila Devi. Friends, if this story touched your heart, do show your support by giving it a like. Don't forget to share your feelings in the comments. Who knows, your thoughts might inspire someone else too. And to discover more such unheard tales from history, glorious legends, and the fascinating chapters of ancient Indian culture, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. Come, let us rediscover, together, our lost heritage, the forgotten stories of India.